What up, though, Detroit? Hello, world, and welcome to the first episode of the Detroit ByCycle podcast. Here with me today, and always, we have the vocal tones of Bobby Brown and the man you know of love.
Just call me Bruno.
Well, right, exactly. Gucci. This is the thing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I struggle with the name because I know you as Bruno.
Right. You know, the name got complicated for people to say, man, so I just went with one.
That's right.
I was like going to do a Prince number, you know?
And myself, here, Henry Ford II.
Oh, the incomparable Henry Ford II.
One and only.
Yeah, don't get it twisted.
So we here created Detroit ByCycle podcast as a launch pad to talk about the love, benefits, art, events, the food, culture, and all the people we meet because of bikes from the Detroit area and beyond. So to get things started, let's just introduce ourselves and tell you a little bit about us. I'll start, and then Bruno, you go next.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So, as stated, my name is Henry Ford II. No relation to the automotive giant.
A little bit.
A little bit. None by blood.
Right, none by blood.
But the manufacturing aspect is very close. And that actually ties in, great segue, to
Thanks, man.
Detroit Bikes is where I am the master builder and have been there almost since the start, just over 5.5 years now. On my free time, I like to ride bikes, which is why we're here, while we're talking.
Right.
I started the People for Palmer Park Thursday night bike ride.
Right. Palmer to the people.
Palmer to the people.
Palmer to the people, man. It's a great ride, man.
I love it.
That's one of those like adult only rides, right? You feel like you know what I mean?
You got to be grown and sexy.
Right, you got to be grown and sexy to be at that joint, man. No gym shoes, no jeans.
No,
that's that ride. Yeah, it's nice.
Also, collectively, we all roll with a little bike ride, slow roll.
Yeah, right. That's
slow
how we all
roll.
That's how we all met.
That's
right?
how we all met.
We all got together.
On the weekends, I tend to do a little touring out of Wheelhouse, Detroit. So if you want to visit us, I can show you around by bike. I volunteer. I'm with the League of Michigan Bicyclists. I'm on the board for that, and that's just the beginning. Now we're running a podcast.
Hey, man, don't even sell yourself short.
It is here.
Dude, you're the Barry White of Detroit Bicycle.
It's our birthday.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's our birthday, man. It's day one. So, hey, my name is Bruno, and I got into cycling as an adult when I started rebuilding old Schwinn's, man. I rebuilt this Continental. It's like a 71, 72 Continental.
Mm-hmm.
It was all raggedy in the shop, and the guy was getting ready to get rid of it, and I was like, man, I can't let that go. It was a little bit too big, you know, and I turned it into something, man. I had put a chrome fork on it, and, it was I used the truck bed liner to cover it.
That was a highlight for me. That was the first time, I've seen people do that bed liner on the outside of the truck, but brought to the cycling world, first time I've seen that.
Right. Like at that point, man, like no matter what you run into or the lock or anything, like
you were protected.
Yeah, you were protected. And then I contrasted it with all the chrome. I put that chrome fork on. And that's the bike I rode when I met you guys at Slow Roll. That was that was a pivotal moment for me, man. And then through Slow Roll, I met some other people that want to introduce me to bike polo. They were like, "Hey, you're an old head, like what's the deal? How do we start this?" And so I got together and we started some bike polo down at Clark Park, and now they're playing in Ferndale, and they're playing at the Velodrome inside. Mm-hmm. So it's a nice thing, man. You've all been down there.
Innovative.
Right. I'm just bringing more to the city.
Bring it.
So, the reason I'm trying to do this podcast is to grow the cycling community and myself as a person, man, to become more confident as a vehicle for change in the community, man. I always like to say to people when they ask me about cycling in the community, I'm like, Detroit made us friends, but bicycles made us family.
True story.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
True story.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not baptizing a kid without you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, cheers to that.
Cheers to that,
yes,
man.
sir.
Let's throw one back, man. How you doing? I'm going to throw it over to my man, Bobby Brown Jr., and that's really his name, and Henry Ford II, and Bobby Brown Jr. What up, dog?
What's up, sir?
What up, man?
We are here. We are here.
We're out here at the, tell them where we're at, man.
We are located down here,
Peterborough.
downtown Peterborough, in the shipping container, with Detroit Podcast Detroit.
Thank you.
Thank you to
Shout
them.
out
Shout out to them.
Letting us even make mistakes on the air.
Yes. Because hey, we need somewhere to do it.
Right.
We need somewhere to do it.
Helping us up.
But I am Bobby Brown II. I am the good one because the other one has done enough bad for all of us.
Oh, senior.
Take your time, preacher. Take your time, preacher.
And no, I was not named after him. You know, I'm an '80s baby, but pre New Edition and all that good stuff. You know, my pops is a senior, and I love him to death. That's my man.
Right. Yeah, your pops is cool people, man. He brought you up right on. He brought you up on two wheels, right?
Yes, he did. Yes,
he brought you up on two wheels, right?
And oddly enough, it was his Ross that I tried to ride as like a 7-year-old, and I know I couldn't fit over the stem, so I'm just like leg through
the frame,
leg through the frame,
remember that move?
Trying to ride it down the block, you know.
Step through.
Yeah, the step through, the step through. Under. Yes, and that was my introduction to cycling. Yeah. But from there, grew up in Detroit. You know, you kind of start out cycling as a kid. I think everybody ride bikes. You know, we're all riding bikes around the neighborhood with
I remember how excited you were, like when your actual,
yes.
like the space you were allowed to go.
Yes.
Once you could ride on two wheels, it like tripled.
Yes.
And you were like,
man.
you know, like.
I mean, I remember the first time I literally crossed 8 Mile on the bike. Like it was literally like my brother, and probably 4 or 5 other cats, you know, from the hood.
Yep.
And we just kept riding. Like we're gonna ride.
Like
you
smiling.
know, let's see.
Right.
And we literally made it to the zoo, and we're like, dog, we at the zoo. Like,
what do we do now? Like,
we stay off the lodge in Livernois, and we at the zoo on BMX, you know, hookups. Like, wow, we way out here, and you know, come back and we good, you know. Right. And then you get a license and you kind of forget about bikes because it's the Motor City. We driving cars.
Let's be honest, man. It's easier to take a girl out in a car than
yes,
on the pegs.
They're really not getting on the pegs.
They're not getting on the pegs, man. Not the girls you want.
So yeah, you know, you get the L's, you riding around, and you kind of, you know, you find it back again. Somehow the stars align. You know, for me, you know, it was one of my neighbors. You know, my homeboy Butch Lloyd. He started riding, had a nice, not a Trek, Specialized hookup he got.
Okay.
And he's out riding, you know, he's like, B, you need to get back on it. Like, we out here doing stuff, like we playing racquetball, we active, you know, lifting weights, all this good stuff. I'm like, man, I ain't riding no bikes. They riding bikes, you know, downtown.
That's like jogging, Junior. I'm not doing that.
I'm like, man, you know what? All right, I got y'all. So I'm on the internets searching. I'm like, okay. I can search Detroit for bikes. I had my cousin, shout out to Reggie. He was going to school in Grand Rapids working on his master's. I'm like, I can search Grand Rapids too. So I'm on the Craigslist. I'm looking. I'm like, all right, I know what size I kind of need.
Right.
I see this Detroit Tiger Trek. That's what I called it. It had D-Town blue and orange and white. And I'm like, oh, it's my size. I said, Reg, please go look at this bike. It's like, it's a good price. I said, if it look clean, I said, and it's all right. I said, scoop it up. I got you.
Right.
My cousin brings the bike back, and it's the lightest thing I've ever felt. And I'm like, oh,
they come in this.
I go to Butch, and I'm like, Butch, it's on now. It's on.
Yeah,
he's like, oh, it's on? Okay. So him and his man's Clay, they take us out. He take me out. We do like 30-something miles.
Oh, man, your first hit? Oh, they wanted to teach you a lesson. Huh?
Yeah, they were trying.
I didn't ride for another week.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was blew out. So I was like, yes, I will not be sitting on that seat.
Were you on some jeans or something? Like, what were you wearing?
No, I was, I'm wore the hoop shorts and that was
right,
it.
Right.
Hoop shorts and that was it. I was like,
we'll talk about that in the future.
Got back on the interwebs.
Sure.
I was like, let me go get these padded hookups.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah. You
got the padded hookups.
Yeah, the chamois out. Yeah.
Chamois. Yes.
Yeah, that's the move.
Them sham wows. You know, my man was on the, as seen on TV. Yes. No, I got them chamois shorts and it's been lovely ever since.
Little wax.
But, yeah, us riding, you know, he found the monthly critical mass.
Right.
Went down to a critical mass. I seen it. I was like, wow, this many people on bikes right now. I was like, all right, we come down the next month. We ride through it. We have a good time, you know, hang out, start meeting folks, hear about a bike show at Kobo, you know, one year after riding slow roll. I'm like, oh, what? That's when I run into my man Henry Ford, who has a Palmer Park bike ride. I'm like, I stay a half a mile from Palmer Park. I never knew there was a bike ride.
Right.
And I come up to him like, brother, man, yes, I will be there.
Yeah, every day was a new awakening.
Yes,
Detroit
it was.
back in the day.
Yes,
You were like, there's
so
a ride there.
Yep.
There's a ride there. Okay.
Yep. Love the Palmer Park ride. Love what my man Henry Ford has been doing for it.
Right. Well,
like
you
I
got a
said.
ride now. We'll help out with a ride. What's up?
Yeah. It's my girl and her friend Maria. They both run Fat Kid Ride, which at some point we will definitely have them on.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes, that's for sure.
Their ride
man.
will be short.
Right, because they do a lot of what we're talking about. Man.
Yeah.
You know
With
what?
the food
To be
and
honest
everything.
with you,
Yeah.
Fat Kid was the initial inspiration for this show because I've seen so many different things on Fat Kid, met so many different people on Fat Kid.
Right.
That's what's up.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
You know, and even though we were doing other rides prior to that started, that group kind of really opened my mind up to what the city had to offer, and I was like,
Right.
that's what's up.
Yes.
Because they would go to art spots and
Correct.
installations.
It's a good mix.
And all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Definitely
a
a
good mix
good
of all
mix.
that. Right.
So, but we'll definitely get in detail.
Oh yeah, and that's PHAT.
Correct.
Fat Kid.
Right.
Detroit, Fat Kid Detroit, PHAT. That's my story on the bikes. You know, met Henry Ford, got back into it late after, you know, being active and all that good stuff.
Right.
And I truly love cycling around Detroit. It has shown me a whole nother level, you know,
Right.
to Detroit that you don't see when you're riding in a car. You're moving too fast. You can't pay attention to the nooks and
The
crannies.
neighborhoods.
The neighborhoods.
You know what I mean? You know, like the neighborness in the hood. You know what I mean?
You know, yes,
Right.
that is true. Some of the best feeling is just seeing the people, you know.
They do it. Like if you're on a big ride or a ride at all, and people come out and they're waving.
Yes.
Like man,
I
that
mean,
is
even if
energizing.
they're just hanging out on the living room, they see you through the window
Yes.
riding by.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, even if you're not
They
out,
come
man.
out.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll definitely get more in detail on that too.
Right.
Yeah, so
Hey.
my man Bruno, our boy in the
know that?
streets, out here
You out
chopping
here.
it up with the shops.
You know how we do.
Who'd you go and talk to this week, Bruno?
Okay, so I like to get out, go see the different bike shops around the city, and I thought I would do the my first little interview with Denny Norman. You know, he's a legend.
A legend.
Let's be honest, man. Denny Norman's got 2 warehouses full of every part you could possibly imagine for any Schwinn you ever wanted to build ever in the history of ever.
True story.
No, it's a fact, man. My man's shop's located on 7 blocks south of 696 on Van Dyke. So if you ever get a chance, the shop itself is kind of small. You know, there's a counter, there's a couple rows of bikes, but man, don't let Denny fool you. Denny's got like warehouses full of exotic Schwinn parts that nobody else in the city has. And when I started coming up, you know, neighborhood friends and I were building these, what we thought were like rat rod Schwinn bikes.
Right.
You know what I mean? We thought we were isolated. There wasn't anybody else doing it.
Right.
And then we got a hold of Danny and we were like, he's like, no, man, there's a whole world out there.
I
dude.
don't even know.
Dude, right. You know what I'm saying? And we started going to like the Kobo. And we would go to like the show,
Autorama.
Autorama, but in the basement.
In the basement,
You know,
yes.
in the basement. And there would be rat rod cars.
Oh, yeah.
And then Al Petrie started putting on a show.
Mm-hmm.
And so we started winning a couple of awards.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? like rebuild awards. But they were Schwinns. They were old school Schwinns. And then the game got stepped up. You know what I mean? The game kept getting stepped up. And that's, you know, That's where I ran into Denny. I was like, he's got that exotic part that you need. So this is a little interview I did with Denny down at this spot on Eastside Bike Shop, man. So enjoy. Denny, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you.
Hey, so tell us about the shop, man. Like, how long you been here?
Well, Eastside Bike's been in business since 1980.
Okay, so we're here. You've been here since 1980. Locations
I've
before
been in
that?
this location for 20 years.
20 years?
Before that, I was in Detroit, St. Jean and Kirchville.
Okay.
East Detroit at 9 and Gratiot in the 70s. And I went to Detroit in the 80s and stayed till 2000.
Okay, so you've been in the bike business a long time.
53 years.
Wow. Yeah, I've been in the bike business about 52 years
Yeah.
when I first learned to ride. So that was nice. This is a great shop here. Nice location. You're in Centerline, is that right?
Centerline, Michigan.
Yeah. It's a small little community.
About a mile and a half long.
Okay. What role do you see yourself playing in this community? Like, what kind of customers come in?
We get a variety. We get old people, we get kids, we get professional riders, we get amateurs, we get people that can't ride or shouldn't be. It'd just be hard to say any big percentage.
Specific, right?
Yeah.
Specific group.
It's just everybody.
I know that I became familiar with your shop when I needed Schwinn parts.
The old classic.
Yeah, the old classics, man. When I was trying to rebuild, old Continentals and stuff.
We
So
still do a big business on the old bikes from the 50s, 60s, 70s. Got
Right.
quite a selection of parts for them and the bikes.
yeah, that's great, man. You've always had what I've needed. So
That's still my passion is the old bikes.
yeah, I like
If I had a
it.
passion at all, it would be old bikes.
Yeah, that's great. So, who served as a role model for you? Like back in the day, like you were coming up, you were in high school.
I started working at Scarlett's Bike Shop in Pontiac, and Mr. Scarlett himself, he's gone now, bless him, but I worked about probably 12, 15 years for him.
Okay.
He taught me how to weld, fix bikes, how to be kind to people, and how to make a buck. He wasn't a bike rider, he was just a businessman.
In that kind of order, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely the buck will come after
Yeah,
treating people kind and knowing what you're doing with
It
the
comes
bike.
to you. If you know what you're doing and do it right,
Right.
the dollars follow.
And you're not a dick.
No.
Right. Yeah. And I've always, every time I've had to come in or my friends have come in,
A lot
you've
of guys
always
get into business with one thing in mind is that dollar, and it'll get away from them.
right.
Go in there and do what you do first and do it good, and the money follows.
Right. The passion's got to be there.
Yeah.
So, what's it take to be a good mechanic? There are people out there that are trying to be bike mechanics. What advice you have for them?
It takes good tools, good knowledge, and a nice refrigerator real close full of Bud Light.
Yeah, that helps, man.
It helps. It eases the work. But you need to know a little what you're doing. A lot of people think you just buy a few wrenches and go to fixing bikes. It doesn't work.
Right.
It doesn't work at all.
Yeah, that's not the thing.
And I get customers in here. I don't know why you charge $20. It only takes a second. I said, if it takes a second, you would have it done.
Right. And if you had the tool,
You
right,
wouldn't-
the
you
tool
wouldn't-
cost me
wouldn't be here in my
$20.
store.
Right. Right. So what advice do you have maybe for young riders or people new to riding bicycles? Because it's a trend now. People are getting back on two wheels.
Probably the most important thing that I see is done wrong. You just need to get the right bicycle, get one that fits you. Don't be afraid to put a helmet on your head. But the right bike to me is 90% of the power.
Right, yeah.
And then from there you can ride, you can learn.
Yeah, there are a lot of people I see people riding quite often. They'll go to like a resale shop and buy a bike that's not sized properly
buy it
for
too
them.
short, they buy it. It
Right, and then they're
doesn't work.
uncomfortable and they're cramped.
They buy it one speed and wonder why they can't ride 4 miles. They just buy the wrong bike model. They don't go to a bike shop, number one.
Right.
You walk into a bike shop, they'll try their best to sell you the right bike, but
Yeah, right. People don't always take that.
no, they don't.
So, hey, what's the coolest bike you ever built?
Coolest bike I ever
Yeah,
built?
if you could go back and have a bike and build it again, what would it be?
A 1951 Hopalong Cassidy.
Nice.
Built by Roll Fast. I spent 2 years putting it together, and it's sitting in a museum in Bremen, Ohio.
Wow.
The Schwinn Museum down there.
Wow.
Yeah, if I had to build another one, it's only because it was so rare. They only build it 2 years.
Oh.
Anybody can build a Schwinn Phantom or a Stingray. There's millions of them.
Right.
Find something that's rare and about obsolete.
Yeah.
That's a challenge.
Yeah, and it took time to get all the parts
Well,
together. And,
about 2 years to get it painted into pieces and everything I wanted.
right.
Made
Get
it right.
Yeah, that's cool. We had spoken earlier about a ride you took when you were a young man when you were a youngster. You went from Pontiac down Woodward to go see Cobo Hall.
We wanted to see the new building.
The new Cobo Hall was
What was
new.
that, 60s? early 60s.
Yeah, it would have to be.
Yeah, because I was 14 or so. Yeah, we lived in Pontiac, wanted to see the big city. We rode straight down Woodward Avenue right to the end.
Nice.
Took all day and always screwed around.
Right.
But we got back home safe that night and still remember it.
Yeah, that's good, man. Bicycle memories are nice like that.
Yeah, just childhood memories.
Right.
And then to have a bike thrown in on top of it.
Right. So, you're here in Centerline. What kind of events do you guys do?
Well, we do a bike show and swap meet every Tuesday night, starting in March, running through probably the end of October.
Okay. Where's that at? You start here?
No, we meet at 11 Mile and Shaner.
11 Mile and Shannon. What's up there?
A bar and restaurant called the Lumberyard.
Okay, and you meet up there and...
We meet there around 6 o'clock and hang till it gets dark. And
right. Some people ride or...
Some ride. There's a few get on them. They bring their pride bikes and they want to ride them.
Yeah, okay.
They let somebody else ride it.
Right. And then they come back and
we hang out.
Hang out and drink some root beer.
We might have some root beer.
And stare at each other's bikes.
And the best cheeseburger in town.
Yeah, I bet. That's nice. Yeah. Well, thanks for letting me come into your shop and sharing your memories and experience with us. Hopefully, we can, get the word out there and maybe help save some bike shops.
All right, so we had the interview with Denny Norwood from Eastside Bikes. Eastside Bikes, located in Bruno.
Hey, it's in the lovely community of Centerline. Denny's got a ride, dude. I let me plug that right quick, man.
Okay,
Denny's got a ride on Tuesdays. He does out of the Lumberjack Bar and Grill, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And mostly it's from what he described as older cats showing up with their old schools.
Okay.
They drink and hang out and talk about,
Will Dalton be there from Roadhouse?
Yeah, he may be, man.
Okay.
Think, man,
that's what's
real.
up.
It actually seemed like it, when I was down there. Y'all know Denny, man. Y'all know Denny.
Hey,
don't act like y'all don't know. And he was telling me, like, we don't actually go on the ride, but the younger people go.
See, that's some Dalton type stuff.
Right. But I mean, in Centerline,
that's more Sam Elliott though.
Right. Right, with the mustache, looking like the Marlboro Man.
Yeah,
right?
Sam Elliott ain't going on a ride.
Yeah,
he's coming to the bar and drinking. Yeah, but he ain't going on a ride. Man. He ain't going on a ride.
You are not the featured artist.
Is this currently going on? Like he doesn't?
No, they're not doing it through the winter, but like in the spring when everybody else is, when most rides are kicking back on.
Ride season.
Yeah, right. May to October, I'm guessing.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
So that's cool.
What we loosely will be talking about from bi-weekly on Detroit ByCycle, which you can definitely follow us, like, subscribe on all the social medias. It's Detroit ByCycle, Detroit ByCycle.
Right.
Gmail too. So.
Yes, we have email. So please leave us questions, comments, concerns.
Are we on the Twitterization?
Yes, we are on the Twitterverse.
Yeah, we're on the Twitterverse. That's nice too, man. So Twitter's,
Yeah,
IG is popping.
All of it.
We need to get a photo up there first.
Yeah, hey man, let us know.
Books, the IGs.
Hit us out, man. If there's something going on in your particular sphere of the bikeosphere,
yes, let us know what you're riding.
Yeah, let us know how you get down, where you go, what's your local ride.
Yes.
What are the spots you hit when you're hungry?
Just like bikes. I mean, we are mobile, so we can come talk to you too.
Right,
that is true.
Sure. Yeah, we'll come holler at you.
But yes, we will definitely have, during the season, over the winter as well, road updates for you all, special guest interviews. We already talked about our social media, calendar updates, events where rides happening, different events that are going on that involve cycling, possibly music, food as well, because we love to eat. We love to listen to good tunes.
Right.
So
that's going to include clubs as well. Like if you got a club, if you
got a club, you got good club rides.
Like if you're going to have the Libra party, like let us know, man.
Yeah, please do. Right. Please do. Your cabaret, if it involves...
I'm a Libra, so I just,
If your cabaret involves cycling, please let us know. We will give y'all a shout-out.
Special shout-out to the Geminis.
That's what Gemini. Is that what you're at? That's what you're feeling right now?
Gemini baby right here, bro.
Okay, bro. That's where that voice comes from, man. You know what I'm saying? And you're the second?
The second.
Right.
It all fits,
sense.
right?
Yeah, it does.
The reincarnation of Henry Ford.
I see
being
it.
a Gemini.
I see it.
Hey. Ladies, I mean,
no, ladies.
Trust me, Henry Ford did not have that voice. Henry Ford didn't. He was not.
No, yes,
he did not have that voice.
True story.
Yeah, no, yeah, you got that thing.
So yes, please do on IG, Facebook, Twitter, and Gmail.
Yeah.
Detroit by ByCycle.
Yeah.
That's our name. That's
like
us,
and follow
baby.
us, man.
That's
like and
us.
follow us. Give us a rating, whatever.
Yeah, tell us what you think of us.
Out here.
Yeah, just doing it.
Yeah.
We're just trying to get we're trying to create a voice for the entire community.
Yes.
That includes you too. So.
Yes.
Yeah,
so if there are things
absolutely.
you, the people who are listening, are interested in, you want to know more about, please let us know. We can get that info for you and out to you.
Right.
The MLK ride, happening on this January 21st, 10 a.m. start time. It will begin and end at the McGregor Memorial Conference Center. So right on the campus of Wayne State University. I know in previous years they had hot cocoa and coffee there, so if you get there early, you may possibly be able to partake. I don't know if I should put that out there, but it's there now. The course, if you have not gone, it's just about 10 miles, and it features rides past several of the relevant sites to Dr. King and other local activists that were integral in the march and impact on his I Have a Dream speech. As always, helmets are mandatory for all Tour Detroit events. They definitely practice safety. So make sure you strap it up and roll out.
January 20th, 2019, starting at midnight. Don't be scared, y'all. Don't be scared.
Right.
It's the 7th annual Back Alley Bike-a-thon event, Bike the Blizzard. And this year they're hoping to raise $20,000. This event allows Bike Alley Bikes to stay open year-round to provide quality educational classes and distribute bikes to the youth in Detroit. I like the Hub and Back Alley Bikes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're a good organization. They've been around for a while. I have rode Bike the Blizzard before. Yes, it can be cold, but hey, dress warm. That's the point. You know, raise some money is for a good cause.
Absolutely.
Right.
This event in the past years is it's a 24-hour ride. Like it starts at midnight, ends at midnight. There is a ride during the middle of the day. There is a ride in the middle of the day, like a group ride for everybody to come attend if you would like.
Right. Get your miles in.
Yes.
Right.
To get more time or to get more info on the group ride, you can visit thehubofdetroit.org for that info. The riders will raise as much as they can. Riders can register, raise, and ride as individuals or teams for this Bike the Blizzard ride. It is a good event. It's fun. You know, get some people out there.
You're out there wilding. Like
you are out
just
there
by
wilding.
the name, like Bike the Blizzard. You're already like
You already
isolated from,
Yes.
like
98%
of the bike community.
yes,
Man. You're out there doing that
they're
winter thing.
they're hardcore. They
That's 24 hours.
They don't
bro.
hold them up.
Yeah,
Oh,
they do
yes.
not,
So
man.
just
I got my stripes. We rode Belle Isle, and it was 2 a.m. with snow out there.
Right.
And I
Wind coming in both directions. This is the island, bro.
So
still don't know what I was doing out there, but hey, it was an event, and I enjoyed it.
Just to elaborate, so it's a fundraiser, and the riders actually petition people to donate them funds per mile.
Right.
Yes.
So that's why they offer it for 24 hours.
Yes.
So
you get them where you get them.
So some of these
get
cats out there, they do 150 miles.
Right.
Oh yeah! Shout out to Jackson.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jackson Roma, man,
Yes.
for real. I mean, in Ann Arbor to Detroit, dude.
Yes.
Like in the worst
Exactly.
winter ever.
And I think he's planning it again.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
he
for
is.
sure.
So that's
You know he is.
Yeah, that's he
I
wants
love
to
him.
do.
I
He
love
wants to do
him.
the one up.
Right, that's his lap.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's my man's.
So yeah, it's all to raise money for a good cause. They're nonprofit, and they do a tremendous amount for the kids. Real fun fact: when I got back into cycling, and we'll get all back into it individually.
Right.
Excuse me. They offered Sunday maintenance classes.
Okay.
And I had a crappy bike, and it was actually Heather who class by class helped me rebuild my bike.
Nice.
And from then I took off and just do everything on my own. I mean, learning new tools, using a stand. I mean, really stepping up the mechanics.
Right.
Before I,
Right. Yeah, I mean, half of cycling is the maintenance.
Yes,
Correct.
it is.
I mean, like,
yes,
it's
it
You
is.
got to take care of your ride.
As long as you're not stepping out on the street
Right.
with some half.
Right.
Yes,
You're good,
yes.
right, yeah.
You can't get caught out here dirty.
You cannot get caught out here in
dirty.
these streets dirty.
You
That
get
is
caught
not
out
a
here
thing.
dirty.
No.
You will learn your
Right.
lesson.
You
Yeah,
definitely. And if you don't know how, have the tool, have the tube. Anybody out there riding most likely will stop and help you.
Yes.
Yeah, right. For
As
sure.
long
Yes,
as you
they
can
will.
help yourself,
Yes.
Yeah.
you're good.
Right.
You're good.
So yeah, Back Alley Bikes, Bike to Blizzard, great event. If you can participate,
It is a great
please
event.
do.
Yes, yes. Again, you can check out thehubofdetroit.org for more info on that ride as well. It's a great event. Please check it out.
Right.
Now, you mentioned Jackson going out to Ann Arbor during that Bike to Blizzard 24 hours. But there also happens to be another ride going on out in those parts that he may just tag along briefly. It is
For sure.
the worst day of the year ride. And typically, I believe this is based upon the weather. In mid to late January in Michigan generally is brutal.
Oh, yeah. No, it's
And
hellish.
for riding,
Yeah.
that they call it the worst day of the year ride. So this is actually a pretty fun-filled day of riding between all facets of bikes in the worst weather. The best of friends are all joining. The Wheels in Motion are actually the group that makes this event totally free, and your whole family is invited. Any more info, check out the worst day of the year ride on Facebook, or go to wheelsinmotion.us for more info. Other than that, I think that concludes our calendar for January.
All right. Right. It's nice, man.
Hey,
Get
if
out
you
there and
guys
ride,
have,
man.
yes, please do.
Hey,
Get out there
you
and
know
ride.
it's cold out there, man. Ride with somebody.
Yes.
Please
Don't
do.
ride dolo solo.
Yeah, please do.
Do not ride
Please
dolo
do.
solo.
All right, for this portion of our show, we definitely want to keep everybody aware of our road conditions and some little safety awareness that all three of us try to abide by,
Right.
because we out there.
Oh, dude. I ride most of them days.
We in the streets.
Right. Dude.
And
I ain't gonna lie, they in the streets. I'm gonna get back out here in the streets.
It's not a porch.
These two cats is in the streets. I'm on the porch. They in the streets.
Yeah, we waving.
They waving at me.
Right,
but I'm gonna be back out here. There will be photos posted of me out here too that you can check out on
So
Detroit.
yeah, so this type of year, we just definitely want to keep everybody abreast of what we found, and invite you to let us know what you find.
Right.
On all of our social media, again, Twitter, Facebook,
Right. Street
Instagram.
conditions. Is it flooded? Is
Correct.
it got glass in
Is there
it?
construction going on?
Is there construction going on?
Is it brand new?
Oh,
We-
right,
we
right,
definitely-
right.
yeah, we
right.
wanna
Yeah,
go
we're
on the
dealing
new
with the
stuff.
new.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Yeah,
Yes.
right, for real.
So, based upon that, you know,
Right, Warren, let's let me know what direction I'm going. Right?
right. We got to know.
Right.
But you know, in that family, in that vein of safety, we all have a few tips of our own that we, before we begin our rides, we mentally and literally go over,
Right.
to make sure we're going to enjoy our ride as much as possible.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
My three tips are right off the bat, it's ABC, real easy. That's air, brakes, and chain.
Right.
So you want to verify your air pressure is correct in your tires. Check them both. You want to lever your brakes before you get on and ride. Check your
Stopping, no stopping,
Right,
bro.
right.
Right.
The brakes don't stop you somewhere.
right.
Is that what they're
So
telling you these days?
you can play that game if you want to, but I
Right,
like to
yeah, I
stop
ain't ready
on
for
my
that.
own power.
Yeah, I like to stop when I want to stop.
So yeah, please check your brakes. And also that chain, do not disrespect your chain.
Yeah, can we stop that?
Please.
Can we just
That's
really?
that's abusive. I mean, what other mechanism on the bike connects you to move it?
It's your drive trained for a reason.
Correct.
You need it.
Right.
You need it.
right.
So don't
Get that debris off it.
get your dirt, your dust. Make
Right.
sure you oil it with proper lubricant.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
It has to be lubricated.
We got to be out here lubricated.
You got to stay lubricated.
Yeah, you got to stay
Gotta
lubricated.
stay
And we don't
lubricated.
use WD-40.
No.
No. T9 or down. You know what I mean? Like T9 or better.
Proper oil for your chain. So that's it. ABC for me.
Right.
What you got, bro?
I was going through my tips, and I was like, you know what? Number one, maintenance. Man, wash your bike.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of salt out there. And it's abusive. It's an abusive time for you and your bike. You
This
know,
time of year, correct.
and so that's why we should, pay particular attention to our bikes' moving parts. Those parts include like your chain, as Henry mentioned, your gears, your cables, your hub. Dude, do not neglect the bottom bracket.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Do not.
hey, do not.
Do not.
That's the one.
That is the one.
That's the one. Like, you know what I'm saying? So the bottom bracket, try to wash any accumulated grime or regularly check for brake wear. So maintenance is the thing. To me, like, just look at your bike and see what parts are wearing out. The second part is lights, both front and back.
That was a little action Bronchiness right there.
Dude, that's how I get down.
baby.
That's
It's
how I get
all
down,
good.
bro. You know, I ain't the one for this.
Right.
Bring your lights, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bring lights. Bring a front and a back. They're cheap. Get an LED. They throw a lot of light out there. And when you're riding, make sure that you have either they're charged or you have a spare battery.
Correct.
Don't be out there caught dirty. I'm gonna be honest. I've been caught out there where like
Hang on one second, Bruno. I think we have a term.
Oh, okay.
So this is something I think we should start.
We should probably talk about this.
There's a lot of jargon that we use out here in these streets.
Right.
And Bruno graciously
That's what I do.
us to probably the one you
The
don't
one.
want.
Yeah, you don't want that moniker.
You
Don't.
don't want to be.
You don't want to be hung with that.
Ride dirty. So
Riding dirty.
carry on.
Okay.
In future episodes, we'll
Talk about what causes rider dirtiness.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We'll
okay.
bust the glossary out.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. Keep lubricated. Keep cables lubricated. Check them. Make sure they're not worn. Check your brake blocks.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Make sure they're not worn out because in the winter, in the wet environment and cold environment, they take more abuse. They're going to wear out faster than they do in a warm environment. The other thing is lights, man. Check the front and the back. Make sure that you have they make small LED lights that blow out these huge ass amounts of light.
Yes, they do.
And people will see you front and back.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Lumens.
saying?
Learn
Right.
what your lumens are, people.
Right.
Right.
And it does relieve any stress. Like you're riding on that, like if you're trying to get to like a spot and you got to be on the lodge, that service drive or the Grand River or the Gratiot,
Right.
like
you have to be seen.
dude,
You
throwing
have to be
lights on,
seen.
like you're like, okay,
Yes.
it does relieve a certain amount of stress. So let's make sure the lights are charged and you have a fresh battery. The last thing for me personally, I like to swap out my tires. In the wintertime, I like something a little bit more robust on my tire, a little less. So I don't want to use a road tire. Road tires are expensive. They're grippy. I'm going to use more like a cyclocross tire. If I'm running a 225, I might run a 28, but I use a cyclocross tire.
Okay.
There's a little bit more room.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so
More aggressive tread too.
right. Puncture protection and hard wearing.
A little thickness to the meat.
Dude, hey, it's Detroit, man.
Gotta
If you're
have
not riding
this.
thick, I don't know what you're riding.
Yeah,
Right?
that's true. That's true.
Right. So, thank you very much.
Bobby, what you got?
So I got if one thing you're gonna be outside, you have to dress properly. You want to be warm. It's cold out. We already know it's cold out, so you have to be warm. To stay warm during the winter ride, think in terms of like your head, feet, torso, most of your body. Heat escapes from your head. So using a baklava under your helmet will help keep you warm. You know, that thing that, you kind of run into the gas station. and ride back
Nobody
to it.
wants to be chased off the street by cold. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're out there doing your thing. Did you say baklava? My man said baklava.
Is it baklava?
Is it baklava? What is it?
Baklava is a dessert.
I know that, but it could be something that keeps
you in Astoria, dog. You just went into Astoria, dude. You were
that
talking
kept
about
me warm too. You know, I ate that baklava and I was warm.
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
Then I went and had that bite.
I think it was a baklava.
Baklava.
People, please tell us.
Please
let us know, man.
I do not know, and that's why we here.
But we do know it keeps your head out.
I know what it is. I got one on my neck right now.
Right.
Yeah, we in the studio, bro, for real. Right.
So yes, get one of them. Get the dessert to keep you warm. It's gonna keep you warm.
It's layered.
It's layered.
It's layered.
And that's what we talking about.
Right.
Layers. So
It's
get the
Greek
dessert
layers.
that's layers.
Right.
It's down and
Right.
you know where to get it.
Right.
So get that, put it on your head, neck, whatever. Keep you warm. Wear your long finger gloves, mittens, protect your hands, thermal socks, keep your feet warm. You have to stay warm. That is the key. It's not about being dry because it's winter, it's cold. You can still ride. It's about just being warm.
Right. Right.
You want to keep the wind off of you. So, hey.
Right.
Stay warm, get your layers.
Right.
do
I
your
find
research.
when I ride, like for real, if I start off already warm, it helps.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Sorry. So it helps if I like warm up before I ride.
Where you eat
Oftentimes
that baklava at.
Dude,
Little
Turns out-
baklava and some cocoa.
some
gonna
baklava, some
ride?
cocoa, right? For real. I like to do quite a few little laps wherever I end up. I like to do like some laps and just make sure that what I'm wearing is going to be enough.
Okay.
And that brings me to this my number 2 tip.
Right.
Plan your route in advance.
Oh, yeah.
Know where you're going.
Right.
Don't just go out there randomly, solo dolo. I'm going to just ride my bike. It's cold.
Okay,
I got
so
my
that
layers on.
I did that down in the numbers, and it did not. It didn't work out. for me. I
Don't
didn't-
follow Bruno's tips.
Right.
Yeah, don't follow my tips.
Well, I mean, typically, it's not really about the destination; it's about the ride.
That
Yeah,
is
right,
true.
right.
However,
Let's keep it real.
We're in Michigan,
Right.
and we have to be considerate of our condition too. So,
Yes.
Right.
That being said, this is about being safe. So,
Right. The weather's benign, man. It's not like it's conspiring against you. It just is what it is.
Yes,
You just
that
got
is
to
true.
prepare
Prepare,
for it.
right.
That is true.
Right.
That
You
is
want to
true.
figure out, like, what is the worst thing that can happen to me on this projected ride
Right.
and prepare for that. You know what I mean?
Do the
And
preventive maintenance.
right, like, hey, I'm headed out to this 26-mile joint. Let me be prepared for this.
Yes.
Exactly.
And if you do that, you're gonna
You're
be
good.
all right.
Yep, I agree.
Yes. Definitely. Because you don't know. We got those Detroit diamonds. We got the potholes.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So you want to know where you're going in advance
Right.
somewhat.
Right. And the roads might be cut off.
Yes. If they are cut off, please let us know at Detroit ByCycle. We can
Right.
post that and let other
Right.
folks know, hey, don't travel these roads.
Right.
They're closed off. My third tip, ride with friends. Don't ride alone. Misery does not love company. So,
Right.
just call up some homies that want to ride out there with you.
I got a puncture. You got a puncture.
There are folks who want to ride in the wintertime with you. So
Yeah, if you can
find out
find
who it
out.
is
Right.
and get with them.
Yeah.
Go out there and ride. Have a good time.
Slightly
Enjoy.
smaller community, but like
Yeah.
It is.
definitely committed.
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely
yes.
committed.
Good people.
Yeah,
Good people. If those
For
folks
sure.
are riding out there, you find them, they're good people.
Yeah, they're doing their thing.
They're doing their thing.
And those side comment, please give them 3 feet minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like we're not out here we're just trying to enjoy the ride too.
Exactly.
And we're just trying to get there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so here's the question, man. People have been asking, like, what kind of ride do you like? What do you ride? Like, what's your go-to bike in the city of Detroit? And so the fact of the matter is, at this point, I'm riding this 2017 large Shirley Krampus. I had it powder coated, and
Custom.
oh yeah, there's not another one like it in the world. I had it powder coated in this industrial baby blue. That's the actual name of the paint. And I had it rebadged with maroon lettering. So it looks like a Surly. Like when you see it, it's a Surly. But it's not a Surly. I got that SRAM Rival. It's a 1x11 drivetrain, SRAM level disc brakes, and salsa wood chipper bars. So it looks like a monster cross bike. And I talked to a couple of Surly dealers, and they're like, yeah, nobody did that before. But it turns out in the city of Detroit, man, it's a great bike, man. It's a perfect ride. I use the extraterrestrial 29 by 2.5 wheels on it. They're a little heavy in the wintertime, but they're bulletproof.
So it's legitimately completely custom bike.
Oh yeah, it's from outside of the frame and the bottom bracket. Yeah, it's pretty much all custom. SRAM and Surly have never seen anything like it. They're like, what is going on here, right? And so I also have, I'm going to be honest. So I put a Surly, what I've settled on at this point, like what I think is going to be the one is this Surly 8-pack rack. And it's narrow, it's nice. I can carry whatever it is I need to carry, and that's going to be my winter bike.
Cool.
You know, until you see me out on the streets on something else, that's going to be it, man. What you on, Henry?
Oh man, as far as winter's concerned, I'd probably all right. So truth be told, I got way too many bikes.
Yeah, let people know, man. How many bikes you got, Henry?
Well, there was
say a real number. What's your number? What's your number, Henry?
Well,
we're talking about bikes. What's your number?
There was one point where I was building 3 bikes every season.
Wow.
So
how many seasons?
This is probably our 9th season, 8th or 9th season.
Okay.
So now I did subside a little bit.
You got like 24 bikes.
That are rideable. I probably got about 14 or 15.
Oh, is that all?
And I've got 3 in the chute though.
Okay. On the come up.
Yeah.
It's always about the bike you're about to pop, dude. It's always about the next one. Let's be honest, man.
My winter bike
N+1.
Right.
Yeah, that N+1.
So yeah, the winter bike. I mean, if I want to get nostalgic, I'd probably pull out my my old Schwinn that I built up.
Right, that Continental. Right.
Which I actually garbage pick.
Dude,
I ain't scared.
You can get them, dude.
Yeah.
I got a 72 Breeze, women's Breeze. Mm-hmm. It still had the cardboard around the valve stem.
Oh wow!
You know what I mean?
So it was never ridden.
No, not really.
3 times around the block.
Yeah, right. Pretty much. I garbage picked it. The guy was like, "Yeah, no one ever rode it," and I was like, "Okay, they will now."
Yeah.
I turned that into a family bike.
It'll be that, or my Van Hawks, my first carbon. So
yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I mean, once you start crossing into carbon, like
that's a whole different lifestyle.
Yeah, you're on a lifestyle. You
made
a
lifestyle.
choice.
Yes,
you made a lifestyle choice.
You have. You have.
So, what do you want, Bobby?
I'm on the Trek 1000, man. That's my go-to. You know, she's been around since day one.
Right. Yeah, so this is the same one.
Yes,
right.
The Tiger. That's my Detroit
Tiger
bike.
Right. Yeah,
blue, orange, and white in it.
Right.
I thought your first one was that red boy.
That's what everybody think. Yes. So I got like I said, the Trek I got first. I got from Grand Rapids. My cousin was going to Grand Valley out there, doing his one thing out there. That was my baby. That's still my baby. The crankset I bought off you is on the Trek currently because I went from 3 to 2 in the front. Right. Yeah, and it's been lovely.
Yeah,
it's been lovely, and it flows.
Why carry what you don't need?
Mm-hmm.
Why ride around with shit you don't need?
Right. Yeah, so the Trek 1000, it's an 05. You know, it's been updated. I have a good wheel set I got from John Hughes a couple years ago. Got the crankset from Henry. You know, I try to make sure it's updated and maintained. Them ABCs, folks, you have to do to make sure your bike runs smooth.
And we can't keep well enough alone anyway.
On the Detroit ByCycle podcast, there are folks that we will lose. Life get lost, whether it's on bike, whether it's other circumstances.
Right.
And we try to, from time to time, give a shout out to those folks that we have lost.
From that bike community.
That we don't forget. We will not forget. We will never forget.
I would like to take an opportunity to give a shout out to my pops who passed, a year ago. His name is James Orville Bloomhoff. And he was a central figure in my life, obviously, and the lives of people in the community of Oak Park. You know what I mean? Like, he taught in Oak Park for about 43 years. Wow. And I'm going to tell you right now, man, he was a better father than I ever deserved. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was wild. Like, he did not deserve me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gave him fits, and I appreciate the fact that he was man enough to, like, deal with what I was going through. You know what I'm saying? And he still taught me to, be the man that I am today. And I grew up at a time where like he would tell me flat out, you were made strong and healthy on purpose. Like that's your gift. And you had to give back to the community with that. Your job was not to be the bully in the neighborhood. Your job was to lift the neighborhood up.
Oh, wow.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like you weren't made to stand over men. You were built strong to lift men up. And that really sticks with me at this point. You know what I'm saying? And we lost him on January 18th, last year. And it's been a struggle for me personally to try and live up to that. You know what I'm saying? Because he sets such a high standard. But I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? I'm gonna try and get there. Someday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all giving me that platform. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. And again, we do want to recognize those that we've lost cycling and not. So keep us abreast of what's going on in your world, and we'll try to address it as well.
Yes, we will.
Right. And if you got bike dates, anything related to bicycling, man, just let us know, man. We're going to be out here. Let us know on the Twitter.
ByCycle, ByCycle.
Right.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Gmail. We out there.
Right. Just let us know. And we're going to try and get some content out to you so you can see, what we do. And maybe you can, we're hoping you can add to that.
Yeah, that's what we're looking forward to.
Right. For real. The growth.
That's our time for this episode. And just to recap today, we introduced ourselves as Detroit ByCycle. And just in case you forgot what we're about, the love, benefit, art, events, food, culture, and all you lovely people we meet because of bikes from here in our Motor City, Detroit, and beyond.